Leo, and I'm here to do your reading for December 3rd into the 31st. So what's up, my Geminis? You guys know I love my Geminis. I'm a Gemini rising, so I feel like I am a Gemini. So listen, let's do this reading. Let's get it shit popping. Alrighty, so we're first going to start off with the energy of your entire month of December, or we're going to see what you're supposed to be doing, what it's targeted towards, okay? Just as an overall checkup. All right, so we have Uranus. It came out kind of weird. As we know, Uranus is the planet where we have big insights, big thoughts, big changes, humanitarian service. But it's also about finding your inner freedom and your individualism as a person. So it's really about human needs, the desire. So your whole December is going to be focused on human needs. So whether this will be about you and your needs, we don't know, because it is also about humanitarian service. So it could be about you helping, but learning how to be your own individual by helping others. So it actually sounds like a really, really good thing to be happening in December. You know, with all the holidays and stuff, it's the perfect time to kind of get into that spirit. So let's go ahead and see what your month is going to be looking like for Gemini. Gemini. Okay. There's a lot of cards. Okay, here we go. So I had the first card out. It was playing tricks on me. I feel like there's going to be a lot of occurrences happening for you in December. So like I said, it might be a slow month for you, but you'll probably get a lot of stuff done. Okay, so to start off, the very first card of your month, we have the Six of Pentacles. So giving and taking, but in a way that's really karmically pleasing. This is something that you do out of love or out of respect or just out of generosity, but it comes back to you because of that, because you didn't think so hard about it, because you weren't trying to be something or not, or because you were doing something not looking for a reward, it will come back to you. So I really like to see that card, because it always means that just good karma's coming, good relationships maybe are coming, and you know, just the overall good feeling of giving and taking. So also, with that being said, I do want to state that we have the Nine of Wands here at the bottom of the deck. So for some reason, I do feel the need to tell you that you are actually doing really, really well. You as a Gemini, you're feeling like you aren't doing enough physically, and that could be because maybe you are doing less than you were at one point, or maybe you are just, you know, not so confident in what you're doing. Maybe you're not being told that you are doing enough, and this card, I felt the need to tell you are doing enough. Don't be afraid to go out and do and physically do what you want to do. I feel like you're trying to prepare, but you're really okay. Like, you can take this time to go ahead and step out on faith and trust yourself. Trust that you've put in enough work to go do what you want to do, okay? You definitely have good karma on your side starting off the beginning of your December. So, very good. Then we move into the Six of Swords in reverse, okay? So I feel like you're finally learning how to not be isolated mentally. You're finally learning how to move on. You've been beating a dead horse for a while now, whether it was something that was really happening or something that you just kept feeling like is going on, and I felt like it was making you a little bit more paranoid or maybe a little bit more angry. But really, it's all a mental thing, okay, Gemini? It's all a mental thing. So, and also remember that a lot of activity with Mercury has been happening, and that is the planet that you are ruled by. That could have a huge influence on how you're communicating, what thoughts you're actually having, and which twin is being shown at what time. You understand what I'm saying? So I feel like you do move past that. You do learn how to not become a prisoner in your own mind, as a lot of Geminis can do, because you realize you were beating a dead horse and something just had to give. And I feel like you finally figured out what that was, okay? And it's turned you into the King of Swords. So of course, this is all air sign energy, so Gemini, Libra, or an Aquarius. But of course, this is you. So you finally matured. You finally learned how to execute. You finally maybe even figured out a plan. The King of Swords is very, very meticulous on how they do things. They're very, what's the word I'm looking for? Calculated. You're also very confident as well, okay? You're really beating the odds at this point. I feel like the whole psyche thing for you was huge, and I feel like you finally pushing through that is really opening a lot of doors for you, okay? So we move into the Fool card in reverse. So maybe there was a situation where you started something new and it wasn't for you. I'm going to go ahead and shuffle using the past life oracle deck so that I can see why or what the situation was that caused you to feel like it wasn't the right thing for you. Okay. So trust and faith. So you could have been really putting your trust, or you could have really been having some trust issues actually. And I feel like whether the trust issues came from the past or they came currently, it was inhibiting, it was making your psyche do like backflips and stuff. Like you had this whole, I don't want to say paranoia, but it was just like the thoughts. It's like you couldn't stop them. It was like a huge flow of just thoughts. And I feel like if you had trust issues, or if you had issues with being okay with what other people tell you, like just taking what people say and then saying, oh yeah, that's the truth, I feel like things like that were really, really hard for you in the beginning of December. So, or that's, at least that was what you were doing that you had to stop doing. You had to stop necessarily either trusting someone too much or having trust issues where you can't trust anybody. So you're either on one side of the fence or the other, but whatever it was, you had to stop that and start a new journey. Okay, so that's what that's saying. So I think it really is saying that you wrapped up how to move on from that, and I'm actually really, really excited about that. Let's go ahead into the middle of your December. Lay my cards out here. Alrighty. So, Eight of Pentacles. So you were working hard, and for some reason I feel like you're working hard on yourself, but you could also be working hard to, you know, have physical profit in a job or something like that. But I feel like whatever you're putting this work into, this is like a little investment of yourself, and I feel like that's how you're looking at it as well. I do want to see what that's about, so let's go ahead and see. What are we working so hard on, Gemini? What are Geminis working hard on? 2 cards. Okay, so I think you're working on doing more. Like, I feel like you're working on maybe not procrastinating and starting to pick up more responsibilities physically, taking on more tasks. I feel like now that you have eased your mind, you have a lot more room to think for yourself. You have a lot more space, you have more clarity, right? So you're able to pick up more things, and that's what you're kind of working on. You're working on yourself, but with that comes you doing more. And then also we have the King of Pentacles. So this leads me to believe that maybe you're learning to have, maybe you're learning how to have control over your money better, or maybe you're learning that relationship between saving and spending. I also feel like you may be just learning to not focus on the outcome of the profit, but just focus on the work itself and the passion that you have to put into it. You understand what I'm saying? So it really is an investment. It's kind of like a slow cooker. That's what I'm envisioning right now. Like, you're putting all these ingredients into a pot and you're letting it slow cook for a really, really long time. It's going to be an amazing meal, but it's just going to take a long time to get through. And I feel like that's what December is trying to say. But I feel like the end meal is going to be magnifique. Okay, so I'm really excited. I'm super excited. Alrighty, so we have the Moon card here in the center of your spread, honey. Okay, so this is going to be really, really beneficial if you are a person who's been trying to figure some stuff out, if you've been trying to see things in a different light. Also, this is very representation, this symbolizes the Cancer energy. So maybe you're becoming more in touch with an emotional side of yourself that you can cherish, and maybe it's a side of yourself that you don't really, you know, touch base with, but I feel like it comes through. But I do want to see what exactly is being revealed for Gemini in the middle of December. I'm going to do one card though. Wow. Okay. Gemini, High Priest or Priestess. Okay, I love this card. I get this card a lot, but only when I'm really, really doing well in my spiritual journey, right? So once again, what's going to be revealed, I think, is your inner power. I think you really figure that out. Even you can see they're pretty much wearing the same thing, enhanced by the moon. So maybe if you do a lot of magic work, try to do a lot of stuff dealing with the moon. But I feel like there's a sense of like, because you have control over your psyche, like nothing can stop you. And I feel like you've tapped back into that, your power. You tapped back into it, and I feel like it's actually been, it's a talent that you've had for lifetimes. It's something that you may come easy to you, but it's so embedded in you that you may be lazy with it when it comes to it. But it's a very powerful stance. It's a very powerful thing to manifest. And for some, it'll be more spiritual, and then for others, it'll be on a more physical stance. So, for example, if you're more on the physical side of this Gemini situation, the High Priestess thing revealing for you, you're going to see how much power you have within yourself when it comes to earning money, when it comes to making those connections and those contacts so that you can build things for yourself, build that brand, build that thing, invent that thing that you want to do, whatever it is. And then if it's a spiritual thing, you're literally elevating into your power whatever way that you most resonate with magic, okay? Or spirituality, metaphysics. I never want to limit it to just magic, but I see all of that in the same boat, so pardon me if that offended you. But anyways, it's a really, really dope time for Gemini. I feel like it wasn't an easy path to get here. I feel like you had to go through a lot of chaotic energy, mentally, maybe physically, domestically for sure, but you're almost there. Just keep going, okay? And then we have the Star card. So if there's an Aquarius in your life, they're saying hi, but if not, this is just saying that you have finally reached that goal. Like their hope is here, okay? So if you have a wish that you're trying to really dedicate yourself to, or if you have something that you are just dying and waiting to just finally grasp, it's coming, okay? Let's go ahead and see what more I can say about that. Yeah. It's like you're finding your path, you're finding your direction for whatever this wish was. It's finally coming together. And again, with this Cancer energy, backing it up again. So heavy influence with Cancer, but also just the moon energy as well. I feel like you're becoming more in touch with maybe your moon side, okay? So let's go ahead and see. For the end of your December, Gemini, we have the first two cards out already. For Gemini, we have the first two cards out already. Alrighty. Seven of Swords. So there's some sneakiness going on. We already know that. Or there could just be something that's not being told 100%. Let's go ahead and see what this is about. Two cards out. Okay, so it seems as though there may have been not necessarily sneakiness in a way that was done on purpose, but I feel like someone they didn't check what they were supposed to do. They did not check to make sure the job was done. They did not check to make sure that all the ducks were in a row. And so that caused the plan to be executed, but executed too fast, and maybe it caused some friction between an event or a person or a friendship. I feel like there was just a little bit of tension here with to be more tense how things were executed. I hope that makes sense to you guys. Someone may have been telling too much. Someone may have been doing something that they weren't supposed to and weren't talking about it. But I also feel like this could have been someone who was just being too greedy. I mean, who was spending too much or something, if it isn't that serious. But it's something where they didn't cover their tracks. They didn't make sure all of their bases were covered. And so it kind of played out in a way that could have been better, but I don't think it was terrible. It may have been a little friction at a party or occasion or something, confrontation, but nothing too big, okay? We have the Knave of Wands in reverse here. So typically when we have the Knave of Wands, this is saying this is a childish person, and they just want to see things happen. But also, being that this is also known as like the child of the tarot, this is easily someone who can get themselves into trouble if they're not aware of what they're doing. Being curious, having expectations that aren't realistic, okay? So kind of that situation. And right here we have the Lovers in reverse. So this leads me to believe that there was probably some things that happened that couldn't, like, nobody knew that they were coming, but you just have to deal with it when it comes. And I feel like that child or that person who has that youthful spirit ran into something not really knowing what's going on, and maybe they weren't expecting love, but that's what came from it. There's some optimism, there's some confidence in emotions. Kind of like just running into something and then you come out with a whole new perspective on how you feel about things and you don't expect it, but that's kind of how love is. So for some of you, it may not be necessarily a relationship of love, but I feel like you stumble into what you love to do. You finally figure out jack of all trades but master of none. But I feel like you figure out something that feels right to you but you're also good at, but it was like accidental. So it looks pretty cool. So we're gonna see how that goes. It's definitely kind of like divine intervention though, okay? It's something that universe kind of throws out there to you, like, okay, here you go. Like, you're ready for it now. You can handle it now. And then we have the Hermit card ending your December. So once we have all of this information, once we have all of these things that we understand about ourselves, and since you are finally stepping into yourself spiritually, I feel like that Hermit energy is really just you taking it all in and ending off your year on a peaceful note and getting ready for that 2019, okay? So I actually like to see that Hermit card there. I feel like you feel everything you need to feel, and you're able to just retreat to yourself and then feel confident and independent, and also feel proud of yourself of how hard you worked and how far you've come spiritually. But also I feel like that translates domestically, and you'll start seeing the money pay off, okay? So I really, really like this reading, you guys. It seems as though you cleared your mind, you've got some clarity, and you bossed up. You know, whether it's earthly or spiritually, you just bossed the fuck up. And I love it. I really like to see this. This is a really, really good reading for you guys. So again, remember that your month is about Uranus. So big changes, big insights, big thoughts. So if you catch yourself just downloading these crazy things and you're just like, whoa, like I figured it out. Or if you wake up one day and you're like, I've got it. Like, that's what it's going to be like for you, okay? So just go with the flow and let things happen for you, okay? I'm Love from a Leo, so yeah. Subscribe if you are not subscribed. Click the notification bell down there so you can be notified when you're already subscribed. I really appreciate it. It helps me out a lot. And yeah, if you would like your own private reading, I offer tons of different ones. I'm always changing them, so come check in with me. Just email me at lovefromaleo@gmail.com, and I will see you there, okay? I'm Love from a Leo. If I'm not your favorite Leo, one day